I'm Terry Owens. On this edition of MTA Commuter Connections, we'll show you how the agency is gearing up for the Grand Prix of Baltimore. Plus, some big changes coming to MARC train and commuter bus. We'll let you know what's happening. We'll also introduce you to a very talented young man who has an interest in art and transit. And with the start of a new school year right around the corner, we'll share MTA's game plan for getting students back to the classroom. We've got all that and your questions on this edition of MTA Commuter Connections. Welcome to MTA Commuter Connections. For this edition, we're on location at the Baltimore Convention Center in downtown Baltimore, overlooking Pratt Street. In just a few weeks, this stretch of downtown will be transformed into a racetrack for the running of the Grand Prix of Baltimore. The city will once again be the focus of national and international attention. Kim Bush is Director of MTA Service Quality and the person responsible for our service on the street, and we are delighted to have her join us. Kim, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, the MTA is gearing up for the Grand Prix like everyone else in town. But before we get to the race, I want to share with our audience a little bit about the Department of Service Quality at the MTA, what you guys do and all that you touch, because I think a lot of people don't really know. Tell us about service quality.
Sure. Service quality is basically we're the operations for revenue service for bus, light rail, and metro. So we have control operations as well as field supervision. And so we manage and monitor all of the revenue service on the street for bus, light rail, and metro.
Wow, so you touch some of the primary modes for the agency. That means what you do impacts the lives of hundreds of thousands of people every day.
Absolutely, and we do not take that responsibility lightly. We're very excited about what we do. We have very good and talented people in positions, and we do an excellent job, we're excited to say.
I think a lot of people don't know what controllers are. You touched on controllers and the role that they play in the operation. Tell us about that function.
We have to have someone monitoring and managing and coordinating that movement. So that's what our controllers do. We have bus controllers, light rail controllers, and metro controllers.
And not too long ago, we took people inside our new central control center to give them an idea of where those controllers operate, and that's ground zero.
It was ground zero.
Okay, good. So we've got a little race coming up. We've been through this a couple of times now. What is this, the third year for us?
Third year.
Okay. Talk about lessons learned from the previous two races.
Oh, absolutely. The first year was a little wild, obviously. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Yes.
So 2012 was much better. It was very smooth. We received high marks from our customers for light rail and metro operations. And this year we're expecting a smoother transition into our adjusted service for Grand Prix.
Now, when does the agency start preparing for something like this?
We actually start preparing back in April.
Okay. Start preparing in April, and then there's a sort of several month build up. Give me a sense of some of the modes that are going to be impacted as a result of downtown being transformed into a racetrack.
Sure. Light rail will be impacted greatly. Obviously, our bus system, we're going to have over 30 bus lines that are going to be diverted or detoured. So it's going to be quite a challenge for us, but we're up to the challenge.
I would imagine communication plays a huge part in this process. I mean, it's one thing to make sure the operators know where they're going, but also letting the public know exactly what's coming. Why is that important?
Oh, absolutely. Our customers have to be well educated in order to have a good experience on our service during this time. We have an excellent marketing department, communications department, and they will have information on the website, on the telephone lines, as well as media that will be on bus stop signs and all throughout the system. So we want our customers to plan their trips and be prepared for a slightly diverted service.
And so a well-armed, a well-informed customer is someone who then can make decisions on how best to get around the city. I mean, you would think, you say the racetrack is downtown. Why would that impact service on the other side of town? And it can.
Absolutely. Most of our service runs through the downtown area. So if it's going to be diverted downtown, then obviously it's going to affect line service on the east and west end of town.
So then for a person who has to travel during that time period, what advice do you give?
Plan ahead. We want our customers to plan ahead, keep an eye on our website, which is always updated, call in advance, and always leave early during this time.
Yeah, it really seems, like common sense. If you know there is the potential for diversions, maybe if you were going to catch a 9 o'clock bus, you might want to catch an 8:30 bus or something to give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going.
We highly recommend that.
Now, you watch this process unfold, the construction of the racetrack in downtown. The barriers are going up days ahead of the race. So this is not just a 3-day event for you. This is actually spread out.
Absolutely. Actually, diversions can go in as early as Monday, which will be August the 26th. And they'll be phased in throughout the week. And so we're going to have various bus lines being diverted. So we definitely want our customers to keep an eye on those diversions.
Okay. And the light rail, talk about the plans for light rail passengers.
Absolutely. Light rail, just as in 2011 and 2012, will be split in the downtown area. So our north end side, which runs from Hunt Valley down to Baltimore Street, customers will deboard at Baltimore Street. And our south end service, which comes from Cromwell and BWI, will come up as far as Hamburg. Well, we will have plenty of buses that will run between Hamburg and Baltimore Street so that we can connect our customers to the other end of service.
How does your staff gear up for something like that? Is there a level of excitement or a level of dread that goes with something like this?
Actually, it's excitement. We enjoy moving customers. That's what we do. We're in the business of transporting people, so we have to love that, and we do. We enjoy it.
Really? Good, good, good. Well, I know in the first year there were all kinds of transit ambassadors out on the street, and that was the same case last year. We're going to see people out spreading information, actually sort of hand-to-hand with customers?
Absolutely. That's very important.
Good, good. All right. What haven't we touched on that you might want the public to know about this event as you gear up for it?
No, really, I think we touched on everything. It's just I want to reiterate, please plan ahead and leave early. If where you're going is very time sensitive, please leave yourself plenty of room and time to get there.
And rest assured that Kim and her team will be out in the field doing everything that they can to keep the service moving as efficiently as possible, given that we've got a racetrack in the middle of downtown Baltimore and the potential for some challenges, but we know that the agency will be working overtime to make sure that everything stays on time.
Absolutely.
All right, Kim Bush, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Well, our schools are filled with gifted students. The MTA recently met up with one of those students whose natural artistic ability and interest in transit blend together for the creation of some very special art. His name is David. He is 13 years old, and like most kids his age, he enjoys swimming, four-wheeling, sports cars, and art. Yes, art. His drawings suggest he is a huge fan of the MTA. We learned about David from one of his teachers at Brooklyn Park Middle School, Maura Shea.
When I first saw David's artwork, I wrote home to his family immediately because I was so impressed by his work.
Yeah, I'm not shy. Look.
As a special needs student, it's not always easy for David to convey what he's thinking, but there is no doubt about what's important to him when it comes to his art.
Even though David likes to draw the light rail system and the MTA bus system, he's not drawing the same artwork over and over. He's actually finding all different creative angles to take.
We get off at the other side, we get on the bus. You catch 14.
As a regular transit user, David gets an up-close look at the system, and what he sees, he is able to put on paper.
David has some challenges, but his artistic expression is above average. His creative ability really stands out. So we're encouraging that.
David says he would like to work for the MTA someday, and his teacher is urging him to consider college-level art classes. With the kind of talent he is displaying at such a young age, the sky is really the limit. Up next, there are some exciting things happening at MARC Train and Commuter Bus. What it could mean for your commute, that's just ahead. Stay with us.